Hey everyone, welcome to another Explorer and Pioneer video here on Magic Arena. So today we are playing some Dimir Demons, the kind of Kaito mid-range ninjitsu package version of Demons. And we are running the exciting new card, this is going to happen a lot. Rot Curse Rakshasa, try saying that when you're drunk, which is a 5/5 for 2 with Trample and Decayed. And Decayed means that a creature with Decay can't block, and when it attacks, you sacrifice it at the end of combat. And it has a renew ability, so you can pay X black black at sorcery speed, exile it from your graveyard to put a Decayed counter on each of X target creatures, so you can kind of turn the opponent's board into a bunch of creatures that can't block and die if they attack. So there is a potential kind of pseudo board wipe ability attached to this as well. So there's a lot going on here for 2 mana. Now, obviously, the key downside to this is that when you attack, you have to sacrifice at the end of combat. But this has a neat little interaction with Kaito, or indeed any other ninjitsu card, which is that actually combat doesn't end immediately when damage is done. There is an end of combat step, and if you put a stop on it, you can have the Rock Curse deal its 5 damage, and then Ninjitsu in Kaito and pick it up back into your hand before the ability sacrificing it resolves. And, normally with Kaito, you don't bother doing that because the creature that you're ninjitsuing tends to be smaller than Kaito, so it's more effective to get the 3/4 down. That's not the case with Rock Curse, so you can just do the damage and then use Kaito. And that's also true of Moon Circuit Hacker as well. You can do the same thing. Obviously, you don't get the card draw ability of Moon Circuit if you do that, so it is better to do it with Kaito, but there is the option to save the Rock Curse with any ninjitsu ability, and then potentially play it again. So yeah, this is a very good aggro creature. 5 damage is a lot. It's a quarter of the opponent's life total, and it also combines nicely if you are just going to have it on the battlefield as a 2-drop into your Unholy Annex, because it is a demon. So if you do have Annex on 3, then your demon then this demon can stick around and give you that drain ability when you draw the card. So there's lots of interesting synergies of this card in this deck, so I think it's an interesting one to try out. So yeah, that'll be fun to see. Then the rest of the deck, there's it's a combination of kind of the Dimir mid-range and the Demons package. So we've got Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, unsurprisingly, given that we're running black. Then we've got 4 copies of Fairy Miscreant. So this is a good ninjitsu target, as well as potentially card draw if you have more than one of them. And Mockingbird copying a Fairy Miscreant is pretty good. So yeah, getting a lot of these 1-drop flyers down, which allows us to ninjitsu our Moon Circuit Hackers, our Kaitos, get a cheap creature off the board and do the thing. We've also got 4 copies of Floodpit's Drowner, which is just a great tempo card, shutting down one of the opponent's creatures with a stun counter. If it's a particularly problematic creature, you can then pay another 2 and get rid of it. Shuffle both it and the Drowner into their owner's library, and then some more demon synergy with Blade of the Oni, which most of the time you'll cast as a 3/1 for 2 with Menace, but you can sometimes also just turn a creature into a demon as well. And then, as I say, we've got our 4 copies of Kaito, and then our Unholy Annexes and Ritual Chambers as well. So yeah, you'll recognise a lot of this as part of any kind of Demons package, whether that's in Mono Black, Rakdos, or Dimir. There's lots of different ways of building that. In terms of the mana base, pretty self-explanatory. Fair number of dual lands. We're running a good number of Darkslick Shores, just so we get those early untapped dual lands. A couple of basic lands on Otawara. 4 copies of Mutavault. Creature that it turns into is also a demon. And 1 copy of Urborg. Urborg and Mutavault is actually a nice little combo, just providing turning the Mutavaults into black lands as well as creature lands. So looking at the sideboard, we got Spell Pierce. So some counter magic to run against opponents who are playing particularly annoying non-creature spells, board wipes, that kind of thing. Duress, some more hand disruption if we need it. Anoint with Affliction as early exile-based removal for those kind of difficult to get rid of early creatures. Those kind of Enduring Innocences where exile is a really important ability. 2 copies of Biting Palm Ninja. This is not a card we've used a huge amount of, but it's a 3/3 for 3. Also has Ninjitsu of 3. Comes into play with a menace counter on it. When it deals combat damage to a player, you can remove the menace counter to essentially exile a card from the opponent's hand. So Ninjitsuing this in does give us another hand interaction ability, as well as 3 damage. So I'm interested to see if we want to bring this in at all against certain opponents. Path of Peril and Extinction Event are our mass removal spells of choice. And then we have Leyline of the Void. Great. Any black deck can kind of play this graveyard hate, and it doesn't affect our own graveyard for our rock curses either. So that is pretty good. So that's the deck. Dimir Demons. I'm looking forward to this one. So thank you very much for watching, and let's take it on to the ladder. Ooh, that's a no from me. Okay, this is better. I think in the absence of an annex, we'll put back Demon for now. And a breeding pool. Okay, Kaito's quite a good draw, so hopefully we can make good use of that. Okay, well, I think we'll start with Mockingbird. We'll copy our Fairy Miscreant, drawing us a card. Maybe should have played those lands slightly differently. I think I'm going to have to... I would have had to shock in either way to play Kaito, but this is pretty good. So yeah, we're doing the thing. And we do like doing the thing in this deck. Ooh, a Mana Confluence. Okay, this is interesting. So I could just cheat in Kaito here, or I could Fatal Push and just do some attacking, which I think is fine. Draw and discard. Now, do I want to Thoughtseize or hold up Flood Pits? I think I'm fine to Thoughtseize. Okay, so the opponent doesn't have the lands. If they draw a land, they could Omnath. What's worse? I think I'm going to take Bring to Light and assume that they don't draw the land that they need. At least for another turn. Okay, they will get the land they need to cast Omnath. That is fine, I can live with that. How shall we do this? I think we are fine to attack. Stick Kaito into play. Now I could stun this for 2 turns. I think that's probably good enough. And then we'll do card draw stuff later. Rot Curse, eh? Well... no blocks. How interesting. I don't want another moon circuit. I would very much like a land, to be honest. Great.
Aha. Now I know your weakness.
So I'll play Rot Curse and hold up a Flood Pit's Drowner. They can exile it with their Vanishing Verse, but that is fine if it's targeting the Rot Curse. It's not targeting anything else. And they are taking damage from doing this, which is not insignificant. Yep, you can have Kaito off the battlefield.
But I fought so hard.
A lender, hexproof from instance. Well, that's okay. So they go up to 10. I'm going to Flood Pits, tapping a lender. So how much damage are we presenting here? Draw, discard land, I think. So I could just get the Ritual Chamber into play. Do you know what? I think let's just flood the board a little bit more. Ooh, go for the throat's pretty good. Yeah, let's take out their Omnath now. Hold up our Flood Pit's Drowner again. Cool. Okay, we successfully out-tempoed them there. So they are running a Bring to Light deck. So I think Spell Pierce is probably pretty good. Duress as well. What can we do without? How does Rock Curse? I suppose. Maybe this is one where the Rock Curse can go, just because, yeah, it's weak to Vanishing Verse. Yeah. Sorry, Rock Curse. No, this isn't a keep, unfortunately. This one I think we'll have to do. The opponent potentially going to 5 is quite good news. Yep. This is slightly awkward in terms of the way the mana is here, but I think playing Thoughtseize is the right thing to do while they've only got 4 cards in their hands. Yep, thought it would be. Okay. I mean, as 1, 2, 3s go, this is pretty good. Fairy Dream Thief. Ah, don't see that hugely often. Okay. That's all I've got. This hand's pretty... depends on what they draw, I suppose. We'll get rid of the Evangel. That's probably the best card in their hand. Just draw 2. Okay, that's fine. So I'll get a Blade of the Oni down. This will turn on our Unholy Annex. So I assume this is Esper Greasefang. Let's have a look at what they mill, shall we? Yeah, I mean, it's still possibly Esper Greasefang. Well, I mean, I've got endless of these, so if they want to counter it, good for them. And a Parhelion. Okay, so yes, it is Greasefang. And also an Oculus. Okay, yes, I have seen this version of Greasefang before. So yeah, there. Yeah, they probably got us here because I don't have an answer for Oculus, so that's fine. So, Leyline of the Void is definitely going in. So is Anoint with Affliction. I think Thoughtseize can come out. So can a couple of Fatal Pushes. Okay, not the quickest hand, but Leyline makes it playable. They clearly represent, yeah, they're representing something here, so I'll just wait with Drowner. And I might potentially be able to Kaito next turn. Which would be good. Okay, they go rid of Parhelion, that makes sense. Okay, that's slightly frustrating. It's Ninjitsu in Moon Circuit Hacker. Good. Land. Nope. Third Kaito. I'm not really about. Voice of Victory. Huh. Well, I think I'm going to kill that. Land, please. Yep, that's good. Nothing? Nothing is good. I'll draw again. Still no extra land, so I'll discard one of the rock curses. I'll just pass the turn with Flood Pits. That's fine. Huh. Yikes. Right, well, I'll play a Mockingbird for just as a creature. This is pretty tragic, isn't it? Gonna have to do something about this at some point. I'll take that block for sure. That's fine. God's sake. How much land can one person avoid drawing? Well, that's concerning. Discard Leyline. Doesn't really do anything at this point in the game. So what I'm doing here is I'm tapping the Greasefang so that they can't crew the Parhelion, and then it just goes back to their hand. Okay, they've got Oculus. I mean, this is far too late, but... So I could shuffle the Greasefang away, which I kind of have to do. Yep. So, get rid of that. I think I need to stun the Oculus next turn. Okay. Yeah, we just got absolutely killed by not drawing any land there. Not a huge amount you can do. Anyone know any jokes? Okay, well, we got... kind of got all of the things we want to do. I think we'll start with a turn 1 Mockingbird, because then at least we have something that can put Kaito into play. Looks like the opponent's on control. I think I'm okay to run a Rock Curse into a counter spell, presuming they have one. Yeah, temporary lockdown's pretty good. But I think we've got some decent follow-ups, which is to just kind of play the same thing again. So they're presenting Emperor. So I'm not going to attack with a Rock Curse, I'm just going to attack with a Mockingbird. That's fine. That's pretty good. So I can push the Anchorage. Ninjitsu in Kaito.
Let's give it our all, punk. The shadows and into the fray. Information is its own.
I don't need the Flood Pits, but I'll keep the Moon Circuit. Again, the ability to Rock Curse with Ninjitsu is pretty good. Depriving them of a land there was pretty potent. Yeah, nice. Okay. So, combat, put a stop at the end. That's a neat, as I say, it's a neat little, it's a neat little interaction, that one.
Your secrets didn't stay hidden for long.
Show me your hand, please. No? Okay. In which case, I shall just play my Rock-Cursed Rakshasa again. I can do this all day. It's not too bad at all, to be honest. Kaito is very resistant to
Information is its own weapon.
control decks. Well, you're not going to be able to counter this, so... What a terrible hand. Yep, that's what I would do as well. So, Azorius Control, Spell Pierce I obviously like. I like Duress. I do quite like Biting Palm Ninja as well, as a way of attacking their hand through a Ninjitsu card. And then, I think... do I dislike Annex on the draw? I think I do. I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to trim a couple of Fatal Pushes. I'll get rid of Go for the Throat as well. And let's keep one Annex in, just in case. I don't love it. Show me your hand. Ooh, bye. I do, however, need an answer for Beza at some point. Oh, the temptation is so strong. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Ha! I'm history's greatest villain. Well, unless they don't have any counter spells. God, all of these, it's all been very one-sided so far, hasn't it? I like Biting Palm Ninja. I particularly like it when the opponent's tapped out. I need to be a little careful about my life total. So I'll play Flood Pits. Then, yeah, I think it's... Ooh, they do have an answer. That's good. Okay, so I can't Biting Palm them, unfortunately. So I could just make a 6/6. That's quite tempting. Yeah, let's do that. Open the Ritual Chamber. Ooh, can I just copy that for 1 mana? It's got to be worth a go, hasn't it? Do you know what? That's kind of fine. Because I get 2 map tokens. So this just comes down as a 1-1. Crack a map. Yep, I'll keep Blade. So they can bounce their Baser here, but doesn't. Yeah, it gets them a card, I suppose. Yeah, I am gonna have to let it through, I think. No, that's fine. Let's drown their Yorion. My life total's looking a little dicey, but Blade should hopefully help with that. So let's start by looking at our hand. We'll take stock up. Then I think let's attack. No blocks. Ninjitsu in Biting Palm Ninja. And I'm going to exile the Baser from their hand as well. Play Blade. This will set the Drain ability to go on Unholy Annex. Okay, Omen's a pretty good draw. What are you going to do, OP? Okay, what's this last card? It's probably a 2-mana removal spell. Probably. Oh, that is aggressive. I'm kind of fine with it. I kind of love it. Surely I can win from this situation. I'm sure I must be able to. Yeah, let's fire off the Floodpits Drowner. Tap that, and we'll copy the Floodpits Drowner. Tap the other one. Yeah, this is still lethal. You know what? I'm going to assert dominance anyway.
Impressed. Don't worry, Pound Punch, I've got this.
Marvellous. Oh, hold the front page. It might actually be on the play. Hold a hand like that. I'm going to stick back the Rock Curse without knowing what the opponent's doing. I think that's probably the right shout. Nice. Well, we got some good early plays. And copy the Miscreant, get a card. If only that had been a Kaito. Sometimes he's just not there. Okay, Descendant of the Storms is a card. Yeah, we're kind of running on empty a bit here now. The land spell mix has not been hugely kind to us. Ooh, shutting down their mana is pretty spicy. Stick a stun counter on their Mutavault so it doesn't untap next turn. Okay, so they're going big on mono-white aggro. So I'll take their Thalia's Lieutenants here, I think it's the right shout. So I say, we don't have a huge amount of action. Fine. Fine. This is not a human. I like Moon Circuit Hacker, so it's going to be a very neat little interaction. Which one of these is the Mockingbird? Doesn't really matter, but... And a push. We like push. We like Mutavault. I like it all. Yeah, ossification just for one of these creatures is kind of so-so, I think. Yep. How much do I care to sacrifice my Mutavault to kill one of their creatures? I think I'm fine with it, to be honest. Get rid of the recruitment. Excuse me. Get rid of the recruitment officer. I could have saved a damage there, I suppose, if I'd fatal push this before damage resolved, but swings and roundabouts. Well, neither of those is particularly good, so... Draw something good. That's okay. I'll hold the Urborg as a potential discard card next turn for our Moon Circuit. God, this has been a very dirtly back and forth game, hasn't it? It's fine. I'll kill the Descendant here before they get any more value off it. They've got enough land. I hate it so much. Yep, trade if you like. Yeah, we're both in top deck mode. I feel like my top decks are potentially better. You know, like Kaito. Well, you can... No, can't you just hit Z? Okay, Flood Bits is reasonable. I'm still going to hold this land, just in case. Stop doing that! Z, hit Z. Z. Or just wreck yourself, I don't care. I'm ready. I'm poised. What's worse here? I think the recruitment office is actually worse because it gives them creatures. Kaito. Ah. I still want you gone. Yeah. Annex. No attacks. I'm flying by the seat of my whatevers here. Am I dead? Not quite. No, I am dead. I'm super dead. Yes, that was a very clutch portable hole. To be honest, I'm amazed that we survived as long as we did in that game, because my opening hand was not good. Not good at all. So, Path of Peril in, Anoint with Affliction in, Thoughtseize out. Put in an Extinction Event as well, actually. I think that's pretty obvious sideboarding. Yeah, Kaito drawn at any point during that game and I'd have absolutely run away with it, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. Let's get our Rock-Cursed Rakshasa down. That's a kind of 2 into Unholy Annex. I think it's pretty good. Huh. And a Moon Circuit Hacker. This is probably better, I think. So stop at end of combat. Confirmed Evil Chuckle. No, do I want to play it again or do I want to hold a Flood Pits Drowner? I think I'll hold on to Flood Pits. Not sus at all that I haven't played this again. I just passed. What a mistake. What a terrible, terrible mistake. Yep, that's fine. God, I'd say that trade all day long. Don't care that much about your Copper Coat Vanguard. Okay. Let's play another, well, the same Rock-Cursed Rakshasa. And I'll hold back with Floodpit's Drowner. These having Ward is actually quite annoying for that, but that's fine. That's mildly more annoying. Take my punishment here. Let's just lock down the Copper Coat again for another turn. Kaito. Kaito. Oh, stop. Actually, do I actually want to save this, or do I want it to go to the graveyard so I can use its ability? Trouble is with us all having Ward is its ability is actually quite bad. So yeah, let's pick it up again.
Watch closely. Out of the shadows and into the fray.
Something like just, oh god, some kind of removal spell. Don't really want either of these.
Stay hidden for long.
Go on, do your thing. God, that Adeline is so annoying. How dare you? So I take 10 if I do this. Yep. I don't really have anywhere drawing a card. Yeah, because I really need, like, Path of Peril here. Oh dear. Rock Curse doesn't help. Mockingbird doesn't really help. Kaito doesn't really help. Yeah.
I've got you beat 6 different ways.
Never mind. Yeah, I feel like we could have won that game 1 with a little bit of a better top decking. And that game 2 we were... Yeah, no lack of removal I think did for us there. Not drawing any of our mass removal spells was a problem. But on the whole, I enjoyed running that deck. I don't think it's the most competitive configuration of demons. I think Rakdos still takes that crown. But, you know, sometimes you just got to try new things. Ooh, 3 Tarkir booster packs. Awaken the Honoured Dead, Dragonback Assault, create a Hoof Behemoth, so some good mythics there. So yeah, I enjoyed the little dance that we did with Rock Curse. I'm not convinced it's the best thing you could be doing for 2 mana, but we never really got an opportunity to make use of its renewability. I think potentially we might have done in that other game if all of the humans hadn't had Ward. But yeah, that Coppercoat Vanguard Ward 1 is actually really annoying when you're trying to do something like this, because you have to target each of the creatures, so they all have a Ward 1. So yeah, it just costs too much mana. Kaito was great when he showed up. Yeah, there's something, there's some power to this deck, but it did fine. It did okay. But yeah, here's the deck list one more time. It's in the description as usual. So thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, as always. One day I'll stop asking. I'm going to stop asking. And I'll see you next time.